All right, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, Charles Oliveira is pretty much universally loved by everybody. He was getting crazy cheers at the press conference yesterday. They're in Vancouver, British Columbia. This guy's from Brazil, okay? One of the reasons is he's got a phenomenal backstory, obviously, but in my opinion, or at least for me personally, the reason why I like Charles Oliveira so much, and I would hate to see him lose again, even though I've picked against him, is because of his fight style. He is one of the most entertaining fighters to watch. And in my opinion, one big reason is due to how dangerous he is on the feet and how vulnerable he is at the same time, okay? He is fantastic and incredible and can finish almost anybody while also almost getting finished every single fight, and finally was finished by Islam Makhachev, okay? Also, his run to the belt and his championship reign, excluding the last fight where he missed weight there, I just hit my mic right on, dude, was one of the most impressive runs in lightweight history, if we're being honest, right? He beat Tony Ferguson and then Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje, and he finished Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje faster than Khabib Nurmagomedov was able to, okay? But I want to take a look at some of his vulnerabilities and some of his weapons that make him incredibly dangerous. We're going to take a look at some moments in the Michael Chandler, the Dustin Poirier, and the Justin Gaethje fight. We're going to go over some areas where he's lacking, okay? Because while he's incredible on the feet, some things I'm going to note are he's good at slowing the pace down when he needs to. Okay, if he's been hurt or rocked or stung or whatever, he can clinch, he can fall on his back, and most guys are not willing to go to the ground with him. He's able to slow down the pace when he needs to, okay? He uses the clinch to stop his forward momentum. We heard Michael Bisping talking about this last Saturday during the fight night. I think it was a woman's fight, if I'm not mistaken. The lady who she kept overthrowing and then would lose her balance and would end up in a clinch position with the lady, which is not ideal. You don't want to do that. You typically want to have your balance. When Charles Oliveira throws a strike, if his momentum is too far forward and he's losing his momentum, he uses his opponent to like balance himself, which not only catches your own balance and allows you to stay out of a danger zone and you know, not get countered, it makes your opponent hold your weight, which is also can be draining on their gas tanks. He's phenomenal with kicks up the middle, right? And knees in the clinch and things like this, attacks up the middle. He's got a nasty uppercut as well. We'll see that a couple times. His offensive striking is some of the best I've ever seen, okay? His shit is technically sound, like precise, everything. Like his form is perfect. It's a pleasure to watch as somebody who enjoys high-level striking. He's also very aggressive and very pressure heavy. He gives you no room to breathe, and he puts you on the back foot, which for a lot of these guys can cause problems. Okay, now some of the areas where he's lacking, right? Lack of head movement, almost nil. There's a few clips in here that I've got of him just slightly moving back, but other than that, typically no head movement. This is why he gets hit so much, at least in my opinion. And that's why I differentiated between how clean his offensive striking was, because his defensive striking, while being perfect in terms of where you're supposed to have your hands, he's lacking in that department of head movement, which causes trouble for him almost every time out. Okay, he gets tagged when his arms are extended or in combination due to that lack of head movement. And because he is so aggressive and pressure heavy, sometimes his forward momentum can actually work against him if a guy lands a good shot on him. So we're going to take a look first at the Chandler fight, because we're going to go in chronological order here. I'm going to make myself smaller so you don't have to see my non-binary ass face. Okay, LeBron? Right. Oh, no. There we go. In the corner. We are at 4 minutes, 34 seconds on the clock. Okay, Charles Oliveira just landed a decent leg kick on Michael Chandler, but that's not what I want to show you guys. What I want to show you guys is, I don't know, you call it luck or range management or what the fuck, but look at how close he was to getting just fucking cracked from Michael Chandler, okay? Michael Chandler throwing body jabs. Charles Oliveira immediately tried to clinch there, right? He had 1 foot off the ground. Chandler kind of threw into him, maybe making him a little bit off balance. Immediately, instinctually, grabs a hold, tries to wrap around the neck to get a Muay Thai clinch position. He does this a lot. It's very good. Chandler sticks a jab there, another right hand to the body. Okay, but watch this. How does he not get killed? His head, it's like the stiffest thing I've ever seen. His neck is unable to move. Like, literally. And I mean, that kissed him, right? That kissed the forehead. But had he just moved his head back a little bit, I can't really do it perfectly in my chair here sitting down, but he would have not been touched at all. Let's watch that back, actually. So there's the good leg kick from Charles Oliveira. Okay. Chandler, right hand to the body. He tried to grab a hold of his neck there for a tie clinch position. Another right hand to the body. Chandler spamming attacks like he's playing a video game like we typically see from him. Another right hand to the body. Okay, look at that. His head didn't move even a little bit. He stayed completely still. He could have easily just moved back a little bit. That would have whiffed right by him, and it would have not even touched his forehead. It did touch it. Not too much of a problem, though, okay? And then we get to see the counter right hand from Charles Oliveira, which is good stuff, and he uses this against a lot of people, okay? And then coming up here, we see now a lot of people used to talk about Charles Oliveira's vision, right? He got his eyes fixed. I don't think that's why he gets hit with shots. I really do think it's because of the head movement, because and when he's being offensive and his vision is phenomenal. He will follow you, like he throws with a bit of a rhythm. 1, 2, like everything comes back, whereas Justin Gaethje, guys like that, will just wing shit. I think his vision's actually fine, right? And probably is now that he's gotten that surgery, but he needs to work on his fucking head movement, okay? And I love Charles Oliveira. No disrespect here. Look at that. Another right hand to the body. Spammed it over and over and over again. Charles Oliveira. Look where his right hand is. This is what I'm talking about. Look at the form. Look at his legs. Look at the pivot off the front foot. His hand is right here, right at his chin, tucked there tight, just in case Chandler threw something else, and he clips him right across the chin. And credit to Chandler, who gets a lot of shit for his chin. I don't know how he fucking ate that, but that was stunning, okay? Like, incredible. And then we see, look at that. No head movement whatsoever, right? None. And then he shoots for a takedown. Beautiful timing. Slowing the pace down. As I said, that shot might have even hurt him, right? That was a decent shot that Chandler landed there. We'll look at it again. And after he got clipped with a beautiful, beautiful left hook, man, this is picture perfect. I mean, Jesus Christ, right? Like, your coach would be very pleased with you throwing a left hook like that. Chandler's left hook almost lands even there. He does move his head back slightly, so a very rare occurrence, about as rare as a black jaguar in the wild, okay? Chandler wings another right hand to the body because apparently he's only hitting square, and then wings that left hook. That actually does crack Charles pretty good, and so the next thing he does is time a perfect takedown to slow the pace down, as I spoke about earlier, and now we are going to skip ahead to 2 minutes on the clock. Okay, here we are. 202 will work, all right? Now, tagged with a jab, right? Misses on his right-hand counter. Okay. And then we see Chandler load up again with kind of a right hand to the body. That left hook lands. Okay, he's winging that. That is not like, your coach would not be happy with that if you were throwing punches like that. Or your striking coach wouldn't anyways, but Charles Oliveira, stiff as a board from the fucking shoulders up, getting hit with shit that you don't really think he should be getting hit with. That one hit him. And then even down here, this is what I wanted to show you. When we see, okay, so Aljamain Sterling against Henry Cejudo, when he goes down on all fours, he's swiveling his head back and forth. Because the only weapon available to Henry Cejudo is a punch. He can't knee him, he can't kick him, right? He has to punch him. If Aljo's swiveling his head going around like this, it's a lot harder to hit him cleanly. Charles Oliveira, though, what does he do? He's on all fours. He is safe from a knee. He just kind of keeps his head right there. And he tries to move a little bit there, but just bash over and over again, and then finally rolls to his back. Okay? And then the rest of the round takes place like this. We are going to skip ahead to round number 2. All right, here we are, beginning of round number 2, okay? Now, we're going to look again. Zero head movement for Charles Oliveira. He's always constantly lifting that left leg up. Very Muay Thai style. Muay Thai-esque. Okay, that kind of tags him on the side of the cheek. It's hard to tell because of the angle. Look at that. He moved his head back there. Did you see that? Just an inch. Very rare occurrence from Charles Oliveira. Swings over the top. Look at this, though. Dude, are you kidding me? This is picture perfect. Right hand, just in case. Left hook. Stunning, drops Chandler on his ass, and because the reason why his offensive striking is so good is not even necessarily because he's powerful, right? The way he's able to drop guys, it's pinpoint accurate. He hits you right on the tip of the fucking chin, right where he wants to hit you. Like, it is phenomenal. And once he gets you hurt, I mean, you're kind of fucked because he is so accurate. And those knees, again, the elbow over the top, like, man, that right to the temple, right behind the ear-ish, kind of, not really on the temple, but still, like, this is what I mean. He throws in a rhythm. It's not necessarily like a song rhythm, but as opposed to Gaethje or somebody like who just gets you hurt, just going crazy. Charles Oliveira is like one back and then he throws the other. It takes a little bit longer, but everything goes exactly where the fuck he wants it to. And now we will take a look at the final, dude, as he's running too, right? We're not going to watch the finish just for the sake of YouTube. I would rather not deal with another copyright claim. We are now going to take a look at Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. All right, boys, here we are. Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. Okay, so something that I notice is, depending on who his opponent is, he will pressure you harder or a little more calculated, depending on who he's fighting, he'll either inch forward with his pressure or he'll just fucking come right at you. And with Dustin Poirier, it seems that he just comes right at him. He is immediately pressuring K as soon as they get to the center. No glove touch, no nothing. Oh, they did touch gloves there, but look at this. Just stepping forward. No real, like, he's not, against Justin Gaethje, I'll show you, he's inching forward. The forward steps are a lot less pronounced, whereas in this fight with Dustin Poirier, he is just immediately pressuring him on the back foot. Poirier is already behind the black line at this point. And now these kicks here, okay, I want to talk about this. He does this quite a bit, and sometimes he lands them, right? He landed one on Kevin Lee. He almost landed one on Justin Gaethje. He almost lands one on Dustin Poirier here. I don't know. Obviously, you're not throwing a strike with the intent to miss, okay? I think, though, that it landing, if it does land, when it does land, like against Kevin Lee, I think that that's more of a bonus. I think this is like a method to corral your opponent, to get him even further to the fence. He's got to move back, right? You're jumping in with a fucking kick. He's not gonna, I don't know. You've got him. Conor McGregor used to do this a lot. When he would throw his wheel kicks, okay, from the southpaw position, he's spinning this way. His kick's coming around that way. It forces his opponent to move towards his left hand. And I feel as though Charles Oliveira loves having you backed up against the fence, because Charles Oliveira's striking is at range or all the way in. Okay, when he's in the pocket is when he kind of gets in trouble sometimes. But I feel as though these kicks are meant to push his opponent back. Now, to be fair, Dustin Poirier's right hand almost connects with his chin there, but he's now already backed up. Dustin Poirier doing his high elbow guard thing. Charles Oliveira is just wasting no fucking time. We're 6 seconds into the fight. Dustin Poirier is backed up against the fence, right? Gets him with a left hook immediately, but then, bro, what was that? Head movement, okay? We don't see it very often, but that was nice, right? Straight right hand. Very aggressive off rip. This first round, I remember when I watched it, like, thinking, holy, it felt like a whole fucking fight. They both threw so much, dude. They both threw so much that it was like 2 rounds combined almost. This was a very intense round. That step in elbow is fucking beautiful, dude. It's different too. The angle of it, man, he is so fucking good. He's got so many different attacks. This guy is phenomenal, okay? Phenomenal. I love Charles Oliveira, but here we see, again, he throws a kick, 0 head movement because he can't really. You're on one foot, you're off balance. And then even right here, right? He's got his hands up, he's blocking, but Dustin Poirier can just go around the guard because Charles Oliveira is not going to move his fucking head out of the way. And this one actually wobbles him, and Charles Oliveira catches himself. Not a true knockdown, but almost a knockdown. Okay, he gets back to his feet, though. Dustin Poirier comes at him. Charles Oliveira's on the back foot, and Charles Oliveira actually cracks him pretty good there. So we're going to skip ahead a few seconds now. 4:38 on the clock, okay? Here's another example of just 0 fucking head movement whatsoever from Charles Oliveira. This fight, actually this first round at least, is really useful to show his weaknesses, because Dustin Poirier took advantage of this quite a bit because he's such a good boxer. But right there, straight left, right down the pipe, nothing in front of it, fucking just bop, right? No movement from Charles Oliveira whatsoever. Just takes it, though, because he's fucking unbelievably tough, okay? Don't know why he doesn't throw very many head kicks like that. Typically, his kicks are teep, front kicks, up the middle, right? Like, we don't usually see him throwing stuff like that. I'm going to wait a few seconds so that I can skip ahead at the perfect time. See right here? Okay. He was attempting to corral. That's what I'm talking about, though. I'm going to skip ahead 10 seconds, okay? We get a rare sighting here again. Some movement from Charles Oliveira. Phenomenal, dude. Like, when he does that, dude, imagine, fuck, it would be, like, unfair if his defense was on point 24/7. It would be almost unfair. His offensive striking is so fucking good that if his defense was in tune, right, and it is in a sense, his hands are always where they need to be, but his head movement is off. And that's a problem, because when you're in a gym and you're throwing a jab or a 1-2, you're always supposed to move your fucking constantly. You don't want to just be stagnant. You don't want to be straight up. You don't want to have your neck stiff as a board, right? That was a nice little piece of head movement right there from Charles Oliveira. And he lands a good right hand of his own. Dustin Poirier on the back foot. I'm going to skip ahead 5 seconds. Okay. This is beautiful from Dustin Poirier. This is fucking beautiful from Dustin Poirier. Now, he led with the left hook, right? We got a southpaw, or he's facing a southpaw, pardon me. Jab's not as effective, so he switches it up to a hook. Dustin Poirier, though, with this pullback left hand, fucking cracks him. There are a lot of guys that would get dropped from that, and Charles Oliveira decides, you know what? I don't want to be here with you at this range, so I'm going to grab you, and what does he do immediately? Charles Oliveira might be the most effective fucking clinch striker in the entire lightweight division. I cannot think of another guy who does more damage in the clinch. These knees to the body are savage. You will see guys kneeing to the body up against the fence, especially if they don't want the ref to break them up, right? If they're trying to catch a breath, they'll do these little knees to the body. He fucking steps back. He winds up, heel to ass. Dude, brutal. And you could see his body pop up there. He just punctured a fucking hole in the fuel tank of Dustin Poirier, okay? Man. And these take a toll on Dustin Poirier. You can tell throughout the fight. Once he later on, little front kicks, little teep kicks to the body. Dustin Poirier is taking deep breaths, looking frustrated, because Charles Oliveira invested so much time in this, man. Like, it is brutal, okay? Like, that one right there, Dustin's like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? He's sick of it. I'm going to skip ahead 15 seconds, okay? 3:43 on the clock. Here we see, once again, no head movement from Charles Oliveira. Just gets popped with the left hand. Now, that one did go off the cheek, so it wasn't as damaging as it could have potentially been. But look again, clinches up, fucking blasts him to the liver side, too. He is, dude, phenomenal. These are, like, his feet are like fucking springboards, right? I want to watch that back, because the amount of, like, force and momentum he can get behind those knees, even when they're not up against the fence, because when you're up against the fence, you've got a Muay Thai clinch, you can kind of afford to put one foot back and fucking really drive into it. But when you're on the fly like this, right, you've just thrown a left hook that missed, you just got cracked with a left hand that kind of went off the side of your face, you tried to corral him, you do, and from right here, immediately fucking blasts the liver side of Dustin Poirier, and you can see on his face, man. Now, it's a little blurry because I've got this, like, running on OBS, but if you go watch this on high definition on UFC Fight Pass, you can see how fucking brutal this must have been for Dustin Poirier to continuously get hit with these fucking with these knees. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead now to 2:30 on the clock, 2:32 actually, so we'll do 2:35. Okay, here we are, 2:35. We see some more lack of head movement from Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is cut up and beat up, right? Like, Dustin had a lot of success in this round. I think he landed like fucking almost 100 significant strikes in this first round, which is just absolutely mind-blowing, okay? Nice left hand to the body from Dustin Poirier. Goes upstairs the next time. Charles Oliveira off balance on one foot. Gets absolutely cracked. Wobbles a little bit even. Gets cracked again with another left hand. Gets cracked again with a right hook behind it. I mean, no head. But now he moves his fucking head, eh? Now he goes to move his head. Let's watch that back, okay? Because this is funny. Left hand to the body. I might have said right hand earlier, okay? Dustin Poirier feints to the body. Dropped his level ever so slightly. Charles Oliveira is going for a front kick. Poirier cracks him on the chin with that left hand, okay? Charles Oliveira wobbles back a little bit. Gets him again, kind of off the side of the face once again. Actually, Charles Oliveira's shot probably lands better here. Look at that, right on the tip of the tin of Dustin Poirier, Jesus Christ, and then that right hook right behind it. No head movement whatsoever, stiff as a board. And then what does Charles Oliveira do? Now he wants to move his fucking head. Okay, dude, sure. Well, you should have done that a few seconds ago, all right? Fucking wild. Now, we're going to skip ahead to 2:11 on the clock will work. Okay, we see more of his nasty fucking clinch game that he is going to do. That I don't know if it's going to be as useful against a guy like Beneil Dariush, whose grappling is probably on par with Charles Oliveira, if we're being honest. But, you know, just considering, I mean, even Poirier lands an elbow there, immediately knees, right? And then we see this little fucking cheeky elbow right here. He's just non-stop, man. You're constantly having to address stuff with Charles Oliveira, and Dustin Poirier is like, get the fuck off me. I don't want to be in here with you. I don't even want to be close to you right now, okay? And I don't fucking blame him because he's nasty in the clinch. But again, lack of head movement. Just gets cracked with the left hand casually. No fucking problem, okay? Poirier whiffs on that one. Charles Oliveira's posting with the left hand. Misses because Poirier's using head movement, okay? That's what it is. Now I'm going to skip ahead 15 seconds. Here we go, 1:44 on the clock, okay? Look at this. That front kick. Watch. Now, we can't see whether or not it lands because of the angle of the camera, but look at Poirier's face once Charles Oliveira's leg comes back, right? He's like, fucking hell, dude, again? Like, constantly getting hit with these. These are fucking nasty, okay? Nasty. No head movement whatsoever, though. Once again, right? His hand's there, but he just fucking, okay. And again, right? And his hand is still there, right? But now he's grabbed a hold of Poirier, just missed with that uppercut. He has got nasty uppercuts. And again, right hook over his uppercut. And this time he takes advantage of his ground game and decides he needs to recover. We're going to skip ahead just a few seconds here. We're going to wait for Charles Oliveira to get back to his feet, okay? But then immediately, right? That wasn't a long break, right? Like 15 to 20 second break, and immediately right back to it, throws himself into the fire, no time to breathe. He only gives you a breath when he wants to take one, right? That's something he's very, very good at. He only gives you a breath when he feels that he needs to take one. When he feels he needs to slow things down, he'll give you a break. If not, no fucking breaks for you. That was brutal. Look at Dustin, man. I mean, his whole body just got lifted up from that shit. That is nasty, nasty, nasty. Very good stuff from Charles Oliveira. You can tell. Deep breath. Deep breath he just took there. Okay, we're going to skip ahead to 1:10 on the clock, right? Once more, okay? Not once more. It happens more, but this is no head movement whatsoever. He went right, or he took advantage. Charles Oliveira has been keeping that hand right here at the tip of his chin as opposed to up here. Dustin Poirier notices it, takes advantage, comes around the guard, cracks Charles Oliveira. That was a good one, man. Charles Oliveira's chin is underrated. Right, I know he gets hurt. I know he gets dropped. Some of these shots, though, from Dustin Poirier that he stayed on his feet for, a lot of guys would have fucking crumbled, man. And he gets cracked again. Left hand again. Left hand again. Right hand again. I mean, Jesus, dude. You know what I mean? What are we doing here, Charlie? What are we doing here, Charlie? You like getting hurt. Big right hand from Dustin Poirier. And then they clinch up. Do some work. I'm going to skip ahead, though, to 35 seconds on the clock. 36 works, okay? Something that he does again. This is good shit that he does. And considering that, like, Poirier, Chandler, and Gaethje all kind of stand a little more squared, they all have boxing heavy attacks. These kicks were extremely useful in every single one of these fights, okay? Again, right? And now that was blocked by Poirier, and he still even had to take a breath after that. He is done with this shit. Done. Right hook lands because there's no head movement on the side of Charles Oliveira. Okay. Left hand lands because there's no head movement on the side of Charles Oliveira. And he wobbles backwards a little bit up against the fence. Wants to take a breather. And again, popped. His head popped back with a left hand. No head. And then he moves back, eh? Your timing's slightly off there, Charlie. Okay? That was actually kind of dirty from Dustin Poirier. Let's go back and watch that again. He attempted to eye poke him there. Or at least it looks that way. You know what I mean? And I like to call this out. I called this out from with Chandler, the cat swipes that he's doing, the fury swipes like fucking Rattata from Pokemon. Okay? But Dustin Poirier here, I mean, fingers wide open and extended when the camera angle switches. Look at this. Right there. That's dirty. You know what I mean? They're all dirty. Charles Oliveira held his gloves. You know what I mean? But here we see he's just taken some shots, right? Dustin Poirier just had him backed up, and then what happens? Okay, he gets hit with another left hand, but then, and almost another one. Pinpoint accuracy. Dustin ducks under his jab. Charles Oliveira is aware of it, keeps it there as a post, and he's very good at doing this. He does this with Justin Gaethje. We'll see in a bit. Just replaced it. Just replaced his hands right over the shoulder, right behind the ear. Slightly wobbles Dustin Poirier. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. And now Poirier is up against the fence. He's backed up a little bit. Charles Oliveira with the big knee up the middle. He landed this on Gaethje too, and I can't tell if they're landing and Poirier and Gaethje just have the best chins on the fucking face of the planet, or if they're just slightly missing. You know what I mean? But it's hard to tell. Poirier misses with that right hand. Charles Oliveira misses with his jab. They both cut an angle, come back, reset. Spinning back fist from Charlie Boy. Poirier looks exhausted. Deep breath there from Poirier. Not just because of how many strikes he threw, but all of the fucking body shots from Charles Oliveira. Left hook over the top from Oliveira. There was a moment that I had written down here, and I'm not sure why it's not happening, but we will see in just a second. Misses with the right hand. Teep kick up the middle. No, nothing more. Anyways, we saw lots from Charles Oliveira there, both on the good and the bad side, okay? And we are now going to watch the first round. Well, there was only one round. We are going to go to Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. All right, here we are. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. Okay, so right away you can see the difference with Dustin Poirier. He went right at him, backed him up against the fence within literally a couple seconds, and then threw that jumping kick to make him all the way back up against the fence. But by about 3-4 seconds into that fight, Dustin Poirier was behind the black line. With Charles Oliveira, he's moving ever so slightly. Okay, you see these little steps, right? He's just inching forward. He didn't do it quite as aggressively, quite as quickly. Now, Justin Gaethje kind of like, he like consented. He kind of went back with it. I couldn't think of the fucking word that I was trying to use. But anyways, we're 8 seconds in. Justin, fuck that, dude. Why do their names have to fucking rhyme? Okay, either way, dude. Inching him back, and he eats this leg kick, and that's notable for later on because not only is his offensive striking pinpoint accurate fucking perfect, not only are his hands always in the right place when he's throwing strikes defensively, though his head movement is fucking garbage, he makes reads and he figures shit out because later on, these leg kicks do not work, okay? But we see him, the kind of rhythm I'm talking, 1, 2, comes back. Like Gaethje's kind of landed first, but his was better. Because he's taken the time, he threw the jab, pulled it back. That's why Gaethje's landed first. But then his right hand over the top, first fucking strike he hits him with, wobbles him. We see the fucking stanky leg from Justin Gaethje. You know what I mean? Like the Kevin Lee fucking Bambi legs. Beautiful stuff from Charles Oliveira. Like, phenomenal. And now at 449, 448. Okay, Gaethje lands another good leg kick here. Which, again, Charles Oliveira figures out later, but then Charles Oliveira grabs a hold of him, doesn't want to be in the pocket with Gaethje, wants to be on him, making Gaethje hold his weight. Knee to the body misses, so he adjusts. Okay, what does he do? Switches legs, right on those fucking bad boy eyes. That's what Gaethje gets for getting those tattooed on him. Does anybody remember those shirts, eh? Anybody remember that brand, Bad Boy? It's probably still around. I don't know. They did have some cool looking clothes back in the day. When everybody was wearing tap out and you rolled up with a Bad Boy shirt, people were like, oh shit, this guy's not just a casual. You know what I mean? Anyways, beautiful knee to the body. He had to step back and switch his position because the left knee got blocked by Justin Gaethje. Really nice stuff from Charles Oliveira, and immediately puncturing holes in the gas tank, hanging on the neck, right? Making Gaethje hold up his weight. Gaethje's like, I want to get the fuck out of here, so I'm just going to throw punches like a literal madman. I'm going to skip ahead 5 seconds on the clock, okay? We see these kicks to the body that he loves so much that he utilizes against almost every opponent. Right there. He is so good at digging those toes in. And Gaethje felt it. He did block it slightly, but he felt it. And then again, we get it. At 4:31 on the clock. Coming up here. Another one. He's so good pointing him. But look at the form, man. Look at the form. Knee is about hip, a little bit above hip level. Perfect, right? Gaethje's forced to back up. When he is at range, he is amazing. When he is all the way in the clinch, dirty boxing, knees, elbows, amazing, right? It's in boxing range where he seems to have trouble. See, already figured out the leg kicks. Nope, not landing that, boy. You know what I mean? He's already figured it out. Now, I think Gaethje lands a right hand here in this exchange. The camera angle's kind of shitty. But Charles Oliveira tries to clinch up, gets hit with that uppercut, and decides, I'm going to go down. You know what I mean? And it's cool that he's got... It's not going to work against everybody because there are going to be people that are good enough at grappling and confident enough in their abilities to go to the ground with you. But considering he's facing guys who he's pretty confident that they're not going to want to fuck with him on the ground, it's good fight IQ, man. I'm going to skip ahead 5 seconds, and that'll be close to the time. He's back on the feet. Here we go. And we see once more Justin Gaethje trying to land his patented leg kicks. Nope. And the right hand just misses. Just fucking misses, right? But then once again, a lot of forward momentum because he put a lot behind that right hand. So instead, he just grabs a hold of Gaethje, clinches up, forcing him to grapple and wrestle, and knees to the fucking body. Nasty. Gaethje already looks tired. We're 47 seconds into this fight. You know what I mean? He already looks tired. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways. Sorry, I just messed up my notes there. Uh-oh. Here we go. Okay, anyways. Anyways, dude. Now we see some lack of head movement from Charles Oliveira once more. Justin Gaethje clubbing right hand over the top. Left hook lands. Right hand lands. That looks very similar to the Dustin Poirier exchange that we saw there. And Charles goes, nah. Nah. Don't wanna. Don't wanna. I'm not gonna fuck with you on the feet right now. You know what I mean? Wants to take a break. Fine. We'll skip ahead. 4:49 on the clock. This is a beautiful uppercut he lands here, dude. If he can even get one hand wrapped on you, he's going to land something. He is so good at landing shit from everywhere. He's got such a diversity in his game. Okay. Picks the leg up. Gaethje goes to kick right here. Grabs a hold of him. Watch this uppercut, dude. Keep an eye on his right hand. Perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. Right on the chin. And of course, Justin Gaethje, we all know this, has a phenomenal chin. Okay. So he's okay. Clubbing right hand misses. Left hook misses because Gaethje is not as precise as Dustin Poirier, and he gets hit with a right hand counter of his own. Clinches up again. Goes to knee to the body because that is what the fuck he does. Okay. Now this combination coming up, not all of it lands perfectly, but just the combination, the creativity that goes into this, I find to be fucking phenomenal. Okay, so let's take a look here at what Charles Oliveira does. Comes around with the hook. We went over this though with the Gaethje Chandler Poirier video, right? The common opponent video. Gaethje ducks his head all the time, right? He's very susceptible to uppercuts. We saw this. We saw Chandler expose this. We saw Poirier expose this in their first fight. We saw Eddie Alvarez expose it, not with uppercuts, but with knees up the middle, right? He always does that fucking ducking thing. So Charles Oliveira, beautiful uppercut, right up the middle, wobbles Gaethje. Gaethje goes to fire back, but not really. And then we see Charles Oliveira jumping knee to wraps around the neck. So we get a left hook to an uppercut to a jumping knee to a straight right hand that lands perfectly. And now not all in perfect sequence because he takes a little bit more time than some guys to throw combinations, which I think actually benefits him quite a bit, and in a lot of situations at least. And he lands quite well on Justin Gaethje there. It's crazy. He's the one bleeding. Teep kick to the body once again, like just non-stop. Non-stop. Okay, we're going to skip ahead to right here. 2:54 on the clock. We got to let it go for a couple seconds before we see what I want to see. Justin Gaethje gets out of the way of that left hook. Good for him. They tangle up, turn around, reset. Okay. Sorry, I was just reading something. Okay. Now, despite, again, I talked about this. Despite him not having very good eyes, When it comes to offensive striking, his vision is fucking perfect, in my opinion. Front kick to the body. Gaethje's already like, fuck off with that, dude. You know what I mean? Leg up. Gaethje lands a jab to the body. This, again, very similar to the Dustin Poirier, right? Gaethje just went under the jab hand of Charles Oliveira. He keeps it there, uses it as a post, and just replaces it. He just replaces it. You know what I mean? If your hand's right here, that's a good target. You just replace it. And he cracks Gaethje there and wobbles him. Again, that's like the second or third time he's wobbled Justin Gaethje so far. And it's fucking Justin Gaethje, man. It's Justin Gaethje. Do you know what I mean? It's insane. Clubbing right hand, I don't know what that was or what that was. That was honestly disgusting, in my opinion. We're going to skip ahead 20 seconds. Once again, we see Charles Oliveira not letting up. He still has those leg kicks figured out, right? They've gotten into a war. They've gotten into some gritty exchanges. He is still there, sound with it, knows the leg kick is coming, clinches up immediately, right hand over the top. And then they get into a little exchange here. Gaethje lands like 3 shots, but that one is absolutely perfect. Picture perfect. Look at the form. Look at the left hand. Look at the back foot, right? He's on the ball of his foot, waits forward. Gaethje did not see that coming. We're going to look at it one more time because not only does he land that, he lands that after getting clipped. Pretty good, right? Gaethje misses on the leg kick because Charles Oliveira's got it figured out. I'm shaking my desk. I apologize. They clinch up. Charles Oliveira grabs the back of his head. Gaethje looked like he might have eye poked him there, if I'm being honest. Lands a right hand over the top. Gaethje clubs back with a right hand of his own, a left hand of his own, another right hand of his own. But because he's just winging shots like I'm talking about, Charles Oliveira, fucking technically sound, 1, 2. Like, he waits for that hand to be on its way back before he throws the second one, right? Justin Gaethje's just fucking winging shots. Charles Oliveira's aware, well, if he's just winging shots at me, his hands are not up at his fucking face, and what happens? He pays for it with the perfect right. Dude, I can't get over his form. Very rarely do we see a guy with this nice of form, with this crisp of technique. It is stunning, okay? So we are going to now summarize a little bit, okay? Charles Oliveira, amazing all the way in or all the way out. He has trouble a little bit in the pocket sometimes. He's got trouble with head movement, as we saw many times, right? He'll move it sometimes, and sometimes he'll move it after he gets hit. But he is, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous striker in the lightweight division, right? But he's also extremely vulnerable, and I think that that's what makes him extremely exciting to watch because it's not just a one side; it's always a war. He's always getting hurt, and he doesn't care. He throws himself back into the fire as soon as he gets up from taking a fucking breather. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. He puts a pace on you. His clinch game is one of the best clinch game. It's up there with like Leon Edwards. His clinch game is one of the best. He is probably, in my opinion, the best clinch striker in the entire lightweight division. But again, very vulnerable, susceptible to any shots because he doesn't move his fucking head. But he's so goddamn dangerous that it makes up for it now. Anyways, dude, that's the end of this one. I hope people enjoyed it. Charles Oliveira, one of my favorite guys. I'm sure a lot of you love him as well. I would hate to see him lose again, but I kind of have mixed feelings because I do want to see Beneil Dariush fight Islam Makhachev, but I don't want to see Charles Oliveira get finished, and I feel as though that's how he will lose. I don't think he's going to lose a decision to Beneil Dariush. It seems as though he's kind of a killer be killed guy, unironically. Like, I mean that legit. You know what I mean? He's putting you away, or he's getting put away, and that's why we love him. Charles Oliveira, the most dangerous and one of the most vulnerable strikers on the feet in the lightweight division tomorrow night. Hope you guys enjoy it. Like and subscribe. See you at the next one. Bye-bye.